PKN 298 maybe. Let's start with this video. We were just talking about it.
All right, I'm at 0.
Ready, set, play. Artist yard.
California is definitely known for having the hardest yards in the country. The hardest prison yards by far. One of the hardest yards that I've been on was Centinela. This was C yard. It was a level 4 yard. Level 4 yards have the most politics. They're the most militant. And they're gonna crush you if you ain't ready to put your life on the line. Your hand is gonna stay raised 24/7. There's crazy ass rules, crazy politics at a yard like Centinela, a 4 yard. This is a yard where it's mandatory that every white boy has a piece in his cell. Every white boy will have a piece in his cell. And if you're the new booty, you're gonna be holding it. You have to put your work in. This is how the system is ran. There is no fucking ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is a dictatorship. It's not a democracy.
I know, he's looking good.
I almost wish everybody had to spend some time in prison so that they could learn that some shit in life has to be non-negotiable. Then they could transfer it out here to the streets. Because everybody's negotiating with their inner bitch too damn much. And in the pen, there's going to be no negotiations when it comes to your workout, your wake-up time, and whether or not you jump with your people. And out here, jumping with your people could mean, motherfucker, you hold your word no matter what the fuck you feel like doing. These are the key steps to becoming a fucking man.
Going to prison.
Are mandatory.
Can we pause it here?
There's pieces.
Yeah, we'll stop right here. So this is
All right.
Wes Watson. The name of his YouTube channel is GP Penitentiary Life with Wes Watson. GP stands for General Population, as opposed to Protective Custody, PC. He makes it very well known. He was not a PC, bitch. He was GP. He put his
it's a
work
good thing
in.
he clarified in the title, because I would have assumed PC bitch. Looking at him, like, he looks like a guy. He was like, I got a little careless on my taxes for a couple of years in a row. If you know what I mean.
I don't know. So I've been watching him all week, and I don't know what he did yet. I haven't gotten to that, and frankly, I don't care. But he did 10 years in federal penitentiaries in California. And he talks about the race relations, the gangs. He was the shot caller who is like the leader of his cell block for the whites at one point. He talks about what it's like being a shot caller and holding the keys, as it's known. And he has an intensity that is literally off the scale. He's so intense. It's like he gets a pump before the video starts.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's working out 24/7.
All right. So I watched another shot caller. Do you know Mike Hurt? Big Mike?
Black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
they've done videos together.
Oh, that black guy was also a shot caller. He has a lot of... Dude, that guy's always talking in phrases. You have to watch a few videos to understand.
You got to know the prison lingo.
Yeah, he's splitting wigs and putting in work. And
he's got a shirt that says wig splitter.
Okay. This guy's body. What has happened? Are there steroids in prison?
So...
How is it that so many guys in prison are jacked? I'm sorry to cut you off.
He explains that, yeah.
Like, do many people have this within them? And if they just devote themselves to it, they can look like this guy?
These are literally all questions that he will answer for you in videos. So he explains it this way. He says, for one reason, part of the reason I'm so pumped, prison food, nothing but salt, sodium everywhere. So my muscles just swell up with water. I'm full of water. I'm soaked up in it. And
Okay.
he explains his workout. And he's like, one day I just decided I'm going to do 2,000 squats today. And people out there on the street, they say, Wes, that's impossible.
That's too many squats.
I got a job to do. You know what I say? I got a job too, motherfucker. 2,000 squats.
Yeah.
He's like,
well, if you're stuck in a place like that, it's healthy to have little benchmarks. Keep yourself occupied. You know how much of a day 2,000 squats probably takes up?
That's your
the
takeaway.
whole thing.
My takeaway is I need more salt in my diet. Clearly,
yes,
that's
lots more salt. What if he's just got like a salt block like cattle have? He just getting pumped, Jackie. Just wait.
Licking the salt lick. I'm gonna get at it.
She's like, well, okay, good form.
Good form on the lick. That's funny. Yeah. That's the only difference between us and this guy, Woody, is salt and the hairline.
So for one thing, he does have a fitness program. I noticed that he like advertises it in his videos. I don't give a fuck about that, right?
Mm.
I know what it is. It's cardio. It's Navy SEALs and it's burpees. I guarantee that's what it is. It's Navy SEAls and burpees.
Body weight.
And if you don't know what those are, then you'll find it real quick on a YouTube search. They're calisthenics because they don't give you fucking workout equipment in 90% of the prisons that you're going to go to federally. Because somebody hit somebody with a fucking weight one time and they were like, all right, that's it. No more weights for you guys. He tells some pretty fucking hardcore stories. He talks about, and I did just enough time in prison to know like most of the lingo. So when he's like, you know, you got to come correct. You got to bring your papers. And I'm like, oh shit. Wonder what and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I wonder what happens if the papers don't check out right. What that means is you've got to show up and you've got to show the other people what you're in for, a list of your charges. And then they're going to have that checked out nefariously, I suppose. I don't know how they get it checked out, but they go through a guard who's on the take or something, and they get your rap sheet. They find out what you've ever done. And he's like, and if you turn out to be a chomo, that's it. You're done. You're done that day. You're dead.
At least they get it over quick.
What if you're not a chomo, but you're in for something uncool, right? Like, what are you in for? Well, you know, I lame thing to do. What's a lame thing that we go to prison for?
Organizing a protest without.
I'll give you an example of a lame thing. I'll give you a good example. There was a guy who came in. He'd already spent some time at one federal pen in Cali, and his stuff came back with child endangerment on it. And they're like, "What the fuck is this, bro? Which children did you endanger and how?" And he explained it in the first prison. He's like, "Look, a guy tried to rob me, and I shot him twice. And because my children were present, they called that child endangerment, and that's why I'm here." And they're like, "All right, cool, you're fine." He goes to a new prison. It's not fine, and they take him out.
That's not okay.
Child endangerment. That's all it took. They hear anything like sex. They hear anything about children or sex crime, and they fucking kill you.
Well, I understand how that's not cool, but I was going for a different type of not cool. Taylor's organizing a protest with no permit is a pretty good example of something that doesn't impress the guys behind the bar.
They won't send you to
pooping in public.
Right?
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, you would have like you would be that's a sex crime essentially. You would have a public you would be on like a sex offender list if you survived where they sent you.
For pooping outside. Yeah. Well, I guess if the certain words are on the sheet, they don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah. So his videos are very fun. He talks about like his intensity and his work ethic. And he was locked down in the shoe for 14 months at one point. He only left the cell every other day for a shower, 3 showers a week. The rest of the time he's bird bathing and doing like calisthenics in his cell. He'd have his boy on his shoulder so he could do weighted squats.
That's cool. I suppose that's how everyone does it, right?
Am I an idiot?
If you want weighted, yeah.
Him holding himself up as like a lifetime success story on how to be a better person is off target.
I think you'd be off there because so I don't know what he's accomplished, but when I see his apartment in LA, it's very nice. So he has made like
this room he's in for the video?
No, that may be an older video or it may just be a bad angle, but I've seen like a nice like upper floor apartment with glass windows everywhere and like a very modern kitchen and stuff. And he's in LA. So I figured that's got to be going $2,000 a month or something like that. No, more.
Definitely more than that.
Yeah, it looks like he's done very well for himself. And the thing I don't like about him that would kind of speak to what you just asked, he mixes in a lot of motivational speaking with his stories. Like, I just want straight stories, right? Like, I don't need any motivation from this guy. I don't need him to be like, you just got to stay away from that dope. I'm like, yeah, I am staying away from the dope. You got to stay away from them gangbangers you homies with. Yeah, I haven't seen Scott in a while.
Dude,
he's not exactly a gangbanger.
Tell a cool story about jail, please. I don't want to know about how much cabbage you eat in a day.
He was talking about jail, and there he's a subject expert. Then he was like, out here on the streets, that means keeping your word. Well, all right, a lot of time on the street. You do your best.
Yeah.
Like, don't go too wild with your streets talk.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Super high intensity. It's funny. Sometimes He uses his outside voice exclusively inside, and his inside voice exclusively outside.
That's
because
training.
He does a lot of videos like at a park or near a beach or something, like at a picnic table, and he'll be talking about how they'll like want to see your butthole all the time in prison. It's like they don't even know my face. They're like, who are you? Bend over. Oh, Wes. Hadn't seen you in a while. I wink my asshole at him. He's always talking about hooping stuff, shoving it. He'll be sitting there and he's like, you just got to stick it up your ass. You got to hoop it. And if you ain't down with that, then you ain't down. You got to hoop that shit. And there's like an old lady.
What kind of stuff is he talking about hooping?
All sorts of stuff. Like he'll hoop like the list of the chomos that gets hooped if the guards start coming around. A blade, like a makeshift like stabbing weapon.
Paper up your asshole.
I would imagine they fold it up nicely and put it in some saran wrap type thing, or maybe even like something that's sort of cylindrical and has like a cap on it, like one of those things, and something, a hooping device, if you will.
Yes.
Now Mike Hurt, the big black guy who was also a shot caller, he says, and this strikes close to home for me, that you can kind of age out of a lot of these like politics and problems, right? He's like, you get in there, you gotta put in work, you gotta do this. But he said that if you're, this is Mike Hurt, he said that if you're over 40, then you can kind of like just not be a participant in all this under 40 craziness. I don't know. I'm 47 and I'm like, I don't know if I'd be completely exempt, but stretch that a little bit, make it 52. And at some point, sort of off to the side, right? You're not a player in this game.
They killed a 65-year-old chomo.
Okay. Chomo can put you on the list, no matter what, right?
Yeah. That 65-year-old chomo is even creepier than a 23-year-old chomo. But
the kid's definitely not going to like it then,
right? Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, a salient point.
Plus, we've done the whole. If one guy's like 19 and 14. They could
sounds like 19 and 14. It's pretty big.
See, the problem is like if it's on that paper, it doesn't matter. You will not be. It's according to him, you're not going to be able to explain that you were 19 and she was 17 or something. Whatever the numbers are. That real close little area where it's like my birthday's in August, so I should have started late.
My birthday's in August. Yeah, they're not going to listen to that.
Both 14, and they get him as a chomo.
Dead.
Well, you would go to juvie.
You'd go to like one of those youth detention centers.
Yeah.
And then while you're in there, maybe you get in a little bit more trouble. So you get like 3 more years tacked on. So you turn 18, they send you the federal pen, and you got chomo papers, and you're dead.
Wow, that's unfortunate because I feel like if you're both 14, that's not chomo.
I mean, you could have at 14 or 6, call it 16, 17. At 17, you have a picture of your own dick on your cell phone, and you're getting that chomo fucking charge.
Now, what if I have 17-year-olds' dicks on my phone?
Also, and actually
it's actually much worse. Do you not realize what you're saying right now?
Officer Brandt.
They get my phone. They're like,
remember that deal we talked about?
They're not supposed to be flashy.
I'm ready to cash in.
Project Fallen Angel is a go. Project Fallen Angel is a go.
Project Fat-Headed Retard.
Can everybody look like this guy? Does that what he
Not
means?
Everybody.
He's 250 pounds.
How tall is he?
He refers to himself as a motherfucker. I don't know how tall he is.
Technically, I'm a bit of a motherfucker myself.
Right? Well, I think he means something very different when he says it.
I mean, she's got 2 kids.
Yeah.
He's shredded. Good for him, dude.
Yeah, I think everybody can get like that because he explains, he's like, this is 10 years of muscle maturity. This ain't no overnight bullshit. This is 10 years of hard work and dedication.
Yeah, and he was like, I wonder how he hit his macros in there. I bet as soon as he got out,
he said that doesn't fucking matter.
Serious.
He's like, it doesn't fucking matter. He's like, I eat 3 big meals a day. I eat everything they give me, and I work hard. And when I'm done working hard, I work harder. And it's just like, because he's like, you'll be in that room, and Christmas has already come around once, and you didn't get a phone call. Christmas come around a second time, and they didn't even answer. And now it's over a year you've been in this room. The only time you get to go out is to take a shower 3 times a week, and them tears start coming. They're coming. Them bitch tears is coming. And you know what you do? You get on the floor and you start cranking them out. And you push that pain away.
Yeah. It worked for him.
I was like,
It worked for him.
What you do is you get in your bed and you cry. You just cry it all out. It's healthy for you. It's a good thing. Nobody can hear
and if you got a good celly, he'll cuddle you. He'll cuddle you right to his breast. And he'll say, it's all right, little fella. It's all going to be over someday. I love you. I love you like a brother. And then you shake him. You shake him because he must be a chomo.
Yeah, for doing that. And then you hoop it just in case.
Then you got to hoop it. Sometimes you kill a man and you just hoop the whole man. They came in my cell. They said, where's your celly at? I said, I don't know. Had him hooped.
Had him hooped. There's just like a face pushed into the side of his belly trying to escape.
He comes back. He's still alive.
It's like when Mr. Slave swallows Paris Hilton in his ass and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, Wes, you look like you're weighing at least 400 pounds. I said, yeah, I'm swole. In reality, I hooped my celly.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever like More Plates, More Dates talks about some guy who's gotten jacked, I always want to hear that he's on some steroid that I don't have access to. That's why I don't belong in the Marvel universe. Just,
I mean, this guy looks like he's probably natural. Like, I'm sure he is.
I think the other day we were talking about how in our hangouts we've got a particular guy who's like on all kinds of drugs, like experimenting and stuff. Right. We did our hangout this past Sunday. Again, $50 Patreons, you get hangouts for like 4 hours. It's really fun. There's usually about a dozen or 15 of us in there, and we just shoot the shit and chat for 4 hours. It's a great time. I think it's worth it. I think most of the people in there would agree.
Okay, the one who taught us Romanian squats and comes in a little zoned out every week.
Oh, he's just real drugged up.
We got a lot of cool cats.
You talking about the white kid who's like looks very youthful, like he's in his early 20s with blonde hair?
Yeah, I think he is that, right?
Yeah, he's like usually outdoors and real spaced out.
Really fit, really spaced out, outdoors.
He's wearing a robe sometimes and nothing else.
Could
like
be.
he's
yeah.
Like he's
Is he okay?
What do you mean by okay? I mean, he's high as fuck.
Yeah, he's always high.
I think he's just stoned. I think he's just smoking a lot of dope. But our boy that we were talking about last week that does all the drugs, he showed up this week and he's like, yeah, I'm shooting 300 milligrams of testosterone every week, following that up with a little tren every other day. And we're like, oh my God, are you getting stronger? He's like, oh yes, my friend. Oh yes.
If you guys were to see a screenshot of our hangouts, you would think that we paid a bunch of minorities on Fiverr to hang out.
Yeah.
To like make it look like a more diverse group. We have, like Monsanto commercials, Facebook commercials. They don't have anything on the diversity of our hangout.
Yeah, they really don't. We'll have three.
I'm saying that unironically.
No, for real. We'll have at least it's. Some people might interpret it like you just suggested as a joke. Like, yeah, I bet it's all a bunch of white dudes their age.
No, not at all.
There's 3 or 4 black guys and at least 1 or 2 Asians. There's always one Asian, but sometimes there's sometimes 2 Asians. There's a lady occasionally. There's a good mixture of people. Samoan. We'll have some Middle Easterns. We had a Moroccan this week.
Definitely a couple Arabs.
Yeah. It's it's honestly a very diverse group.
It's a very, melting pot of the world hangout.
I don't think that one guy liked the slave joke that I was getting at.
I particularly liked when we asked him if he tested his testosterone.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I never do. And we're like, but why? Why wouldn't you test your test levels? That's like the thing that you're doing. You want to know how high your testosterone is. And he's like, well, those tests, they stop at like 15, which is... And my mind's flashing to Chernobyl. Like, I forget what their test was. Like 2.98 gigograms. That's not bad.
Yeah, not terrible. Okay,
not good. Not terrible.
What was the test? So, you guys remember the actual quote from Chernobyl? I was trying to.
It was like 3.5
millirams. I don't remember the quote,
something
but
like that. Yeah.
But yeah, when your test gets to like 1300, the letters literally turn red. Because it's like a warning sign. It's like, whoa, something's wrong. And he said that he was at like 1550 or something like that. And I was like, whoa, that's that's literally super physiological. That's not natural by any means. He's like, I know.
No.
That's what I'm going for.
I don't think you got that close. He said the test stops at 15. Therefore, it has no value to him.
I think he misunderstood.
I don't think so.
It definitely doesn't stop at 1500. I don't think
that's way too high
His
to have it anyway.
Agency. Those tests, the ones that he's getting, don't go higher. We'll have to ask him.
Yeah, yeah. In any case, it's at least 1500.
Yeah.
Insanity levels. Like normal guy his age, if it were 700, we'd be like, that's pretty high. If it were 900, we'd be like, whoa, man's man.
Mm-hmm.
He's at 1,500 plus.
Right. He's about double a man.
He's double a man's man. Yeah.
But jacked and thin.
Well, of course he is. Right? Like if he weren't, we'd be like, what are you doing with yourself? Like,
mostly
this like isn't super tight for your body anyway, but you're fat. Like that would be you're wasting time, you're wasting money, you're dying. What are you thinking? I did a stream earlier today, and I finished everything earlier than I thought. And so I did my 50 minutes to an hour of working out. It's one of my not as hard days downstairs. And I was like, you know what? I was saying I'm going to do an exercise bike stream while I watch something. What do I want to watch? And so I was like, all the clips I've seen of Wings down the rabbit hole have all come during the show, really. I've never just sat down and watched it. Decided to watch that and bike through the whole thing. Didn't realize or didn't fully internalize that is a 2 hour and 10-minute documentary.
mm-hmm.
And so maybe 15, 20 minutes before this started, I was huffing and puffing on Twitch. I did go the whole time. I had to slow down a couple times, but I went the whole fucking time, over 2 hours after working out. I got to it was one of my biggest streams in a while, almost 900 people at one point.
Holy
It was
smokes.
average of 700 or so. And it was just me riding the bike, getting sweaty. And the encouragement, and by encouragement I mean people being like, "You'll stop soon, fatty." That I was like, no, I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. But I'm pretty excited now. I'm like, I want to Google around and see how many calories I think I burned, because I see how many snacks I've earned. Yeah. Well, I know that it's certainly not the amount that it says on the bike, because I checked afterwards and it was like, okay, it says you rode 28 miles. That's 1,700 calories. I'm like, that's just not possible. There's no way. Because it says that an average speed of riding your bike is 14 miles an hour.
Holy shit. Well, I Googled 2 hour bike ride calories. 1,688.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of calories.
Oh, that's way over my personal.
Oh, your man be snacking tonight.
Yeah, a light ride is 800. Vigorous ride is 17. There's a range.
I'd give me somewhere between, I'd say moderate,
maybe
moderate.
1,200. That's
maybe around there. That's pretty good. Long ways to go, but yeah, felt good. I hadn't done it anything on that bike since the fitness competition a year and a half ago, or any use it had was a smattering of it, not really consistent. But
you ever tried a rowing machine?
I have. Rowing machines. If that Concept 2 weren't $2,000 or $1,500 or whatever it is, I would get that, because that thing is top of the line, bee's knees.
Let me see what I've got.
I think you have the Concept 2. I think you and Chiz both got the really fucking nice. That's the one they have in gyms. It's really, really nice. And rowing is easier for me than biking. It feels like you're using your whole body more. Harder to do for long periods. The only thing sore on me right now is quads and calves, and that'll pass pretty quickly, I imagine. With my these shakes are great. These MedRx, 51 grams of protein. All the hits, all the classics, the B vitamins, the calciums, all that. But it's got only 230 calories and 51 grams of protein. So pretty good ratio.
What's that ratio again?
230 calories and 51 grams of protein.
Okay. Yeah. The protein powder I have is 200 calories and 50 grams of protein. So very.
Do you have Isopure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one in my kitchen in a big bucket. I think it's 210 calories for 50 grams of protein. It tastes 10 times worse than this.
What flavor did I could tell you didn't get the flavor I got, because the flavor I've got is 200 calories. What flavor do you have?
I got strawberry.
Ooh, that's never a good idea with protein powder.
Yeah, it was the cheapest at the time.
I think I got salted vanilla or something. It's some kind of a vanilla thing. It tastes delicious.
I agree with vanilla. I've never heard of salted, but it can only make
maybe it's salted caramel vanilla,
caramel?
Something like that. It's super tasty.
Yeah, I always prioritize the lower calorie proteins because like muscling it down isn't nearly as bad. But if salted caramel's the same ratio and cheaper, I'm gonna do that.
I don't know about cheaper.
I mean cheaper than these, like the canned stuff.
Oh, it's got to be cheaper. I find it to be tasty. Like I just put enough water in it when I do drink it to like make it liquid enough to drink because I don't want to be, But it tastes good to me. It tastes really sweet.
Did you add anything else in it, or just
no? I have made like chocolate oatmeal cookies with it before, though.
Protein cookies are good.
Yeah, it's just like an egg, some two scoops of protein powder, oatmeal, cocoa, but no sugar, and like two tablespoons of stevia, which is that natural sweetener that has no calories and none of the bad things that saccharin and stuff have. And I have some kind of arrowroot powder. So arrowroot powder is it's a flour replacement. It's made from a jungle plant that's very, very similar to yams. And you put like half a cup in there. That's part of the recipe that I found. They're really good. They take 8 minutes to bake. And
really?
And cacao powder has no calories, or maybe like 10 calories a tablespoon.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, so you get chocolate oatmeal cookies for and they're nothing but protein.
I've tried like cauliflower crust on pizza, and as long as you put enough cheese on it, it's serviceable. But that's more like I'm mostly eating cheese now. Like, this isn't even a facsimile of a pizza.
I think you just got to give up on pizza. Cheese. I think you just got to give up on pizza if you're trying to go low calorie. I don't want to
give up on pizza, man. Makes me sad thinking about giving up on pizza. I could eat 3 pizzas right now. I am so hungry.
I'm hungry right now too. Yeah, I don't have a good 2-hour bike ride to justify it, but I am hungry. I got that.
Oh, believe you me. Some of my most intense feelings of hunger come after doing absolutely nothing. Where it'll be like, man, I've been sitting at a desk for 6 hours. You need a porterhouse steak and 2 potatoes and fries.
No, your brain is really your body's most powerful muscle.
I believe it. I think it's an organ. Yeah.
I'm just trying to justify.
I'm like Sopranos has become my like my girlfriend goes to sleep before I do pretty much every night, and so like I'm usually up like an extra 2 hours or so. That's now my post her going to bed show and my mid workout show. Did like was dangerous bench pressing the other day. Like looked over and like went off kilter with balance a little bit, and I was like, you can't be, because I got my TV over here and I'm laying down looking, like trying to watch while I'm doing it. So that was dumb, but this show's awesome. I'm already like episode 3, season 2 now.
Did they go on a little boat ride yet? After Tony got food poisoning?
They have not. They have
Good
not done
things
that.
are coming.
Okay. Well, I plan to power through at least another 2 or 3 episodes late tonight if I have time, because I'm all in. It's fantastic. It's great. I like that. Little updates on the characters, because I said I liked that shitty little kid because he was just like causing problems. He's getting more annoying already.
Oh yeah.
Tony, obviously, love Tony.
Tony's the best.
His wife,
who's
Tony's
annoying?
wife.
I missed
his son, Tony's son.
AJ.
Meadow, I am completely indifferent to. I really don't care about her.
What
the fuck is up with even the most really into getting into good colleges kids I knew in high school? None of them were like, it's not, you don't know how hard it is. We're studying so hard to get into college and we just need a break. Like, my dad would have laughed in my face if I tried that in high school. He'd be like, oh, are you working hard in high school? It's like I would have deserved it. But like, yeah.
She wants away from her family, so she wants to try to get into Berkeley. She wants to go to Cali.
Oh, I mean, I put those pieces together, but she also was applying to like really difficult schools on the East Coast.
Yeah, Georgetown
she
and
could get in and just stay away from home. But I don't know, the whole, freaking out about college. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Who cares? But she's indifferent. Syl.
Yeah, Syl. Number 2. Yeah, the conciliary.
Is he the guy with the biceps and the weight and the?
No, that's Paulie. Yeah. Syl is the one who does the Godfather impression. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
He has a really dark greased hair.
Pomodoro. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the actors in this movie or this show are unbelievably Italian looking. Like you go to I was looking at the actors page on Sopranos. There's not a single actor whose last name doesn't end in a vowel. Yeah, every single one. Alamo, alame, alami,
Maramani.
It's all that. And so, what I was saying, Syl and Paulie are two of my favorites. I really like them. They're especially Paulie. I like Paulie a lot. And
Paulie's
Syl
great.
just has the look. Pussy. I like Big Pussy, but there are a couple. I don't want to say any. Well, I mean, it's been so long.
I've
it's pretty
seen
much
the show
gotten
8 times.
I know. And you know what? Fuck it. It's been 20 years ago. So I'm at the part where he's talking to that fat cop, basically on his balcony at his home, and his wife's all pissed. And
yeah,
I'm gonna divorce him. I'm gonna leave him.
If I could just have some coffee, it's hard for me to think. Could I just get some coffee? And he's just like, stop, cut the shit, pussy. Just tell me who was at the meeting. I don't know.
Yeah, and then I did notice Pussy trying to throw some cover for Tony when he's like,
oh
yeah, all I noticed was that Tony bought a pool table from that guy, kept it in his whatever the hell, his little hideout, trying to cover for all the guns and contraband they found in there. And so I'm still early enough with Big Pussy that I know he's doing some shit. He's gonna end up getting clipped in the end, I'm sure. Or, turn and tail, because he's already working with that fat blonde guy who kind of has a lisp that's always pushing for more information.
Yeah, he's a Fed.
Yeah. And so there's no way he survives. It's just a matter of time. I don't know how long until Tony and them figure it out. The mom, Tony's mom, fucking hate her. I am so glad she has become not as much of a character in this season.
Oh, don't worry. Olivia's coming back strong.
I hate her. And it's just the manipulative games. It's just
who is the guy who comes back and marries Tony?
Richie.
Richie's
it's not.
I don't
Richie
he hasn't gotten. Well, so Richie. Okay, so
Richie's a great character,
Richie's
by the way.
dating the sister right now.
So Richie's dating her, and then later she also dates Ralphie, who's played by John Pantaleone.
To enjoy Ralph.
Ralphie is the biggest scumbag. They told him I saw an interview with Joe the other day, and he's like, they told me you're gonna be a real fucking scumbag. They're gonna hate you, but your job is to make them love you and hate that they love you. And I'm thinking yeah, holy shit, he nailed it. I did love him, and I hated that I loved him because he was so awful.
Was it a Ramsey kind of character where it's you're enthralled when he's on the screen, but you realize he's just a despicable
person? Little bit, a little bit like that. You could say that because he does some cruel, sociopathic things, for no reason, just because his pride is hurt, because he's insulted a little bit.
Oh, he sounds like Richie.
No. Richie was controlled. Ralphie does cocaine, and that's a hell of a drug. He's obsessed with the movie Gladiator because it just had come out, and obviously, Italians and Romans, and he's just he's walking around quoting the movie Gladiator. He's like, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my revenge in this life or the next. And they're just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Absolute maniac.
He's just lost his fucking mind. He's crazy.
It's a contemporary movie at the time. So I thought Richie was pretty out of control because I think the act of everyone, of any act that anyone's done the show so far, the one that I disliked the most was Richie hurting poor Beans, the pizza guy.
Beansy, yeah. Tony's
like,
back off of Beansy, all right? He's like, I did. Then I put it in drive and drove over him again.
There's a scene where somebody beats up a bouncer. That one's hard for me. That guy he was a big guy, but gentle-hearted.
Well, he can't step out of line because everybody else is a made fucking mobster, and he's just a bartender.
Oh, is it the guy that can't figure out the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a montage on YouTube of him just catching ass beatings. like Tony whips his ass no less than 4 times throughout the series. One time he beats him with a cash register, once with an ice bucket, once with a phone.
I've only seen the phone one so far. It's when you transfer a call, you hit hold. You don't hit the hang up, you hit the hold button. He comes over there and just bang, bang, bang. Just
later on, Tony's hurt. This is in no way a real spoiler. Tony's hurting for money a little bit, but when Tony's hurting for money, it means he can't go blow $100,000 on gambling. He's not really hurting, but he acts like he is. And he sees that bartender is throwing away the ice out of like the ice cooler. And he's like, whoa, what are you doing? You're just throwing money away? He's like, Tone, it's a little melted, you know, and it waters down the scotch, especially scotch. He's like, what the fuck did you say to me? Sorry, Tone. Tony goes to walk away. I'm just saying, it waters down the drinks, and Tony's just on him with the ice bucket, just beating him with the ice bucket. It's great.
Yeah, I like more characters than I dislike.
Yeah, you're going to.
Certain characters like Tony and Ralphie are maniacs, but they're kind of controlled maniacs. Like the central people in the show are somewhat reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But the characters that are unreasonable maniacs, it's like, this is a really challenging workplace environment. You know, like how do you thrive in a place where guys are like that guy? And you know, is it Ralphie? Is that the guy you just
Ralph Cifaretto? Yeah,
yeah. He in particular is like, he's a real problem. Chrissy, that guy can be a loose wire.
If any of them feel they're genuinely being disrespected, they will beat you half to death, or they will just straight up kill you right there.
Yeah, Chris is a character that I feel like he makes life too complicated for Tony sometimes, very often.
Yeah,
I can see that point of view.
Yeah,
I was just at the part where there's two stockbroker guys tried to kill Chris, and he like blows one of their heads off, and then the other one runs and tells Richie, and Richie's like, "Who told you to do that? You tried to do that? I'll fucking kill you!" He's just chasing him.
I'm gonna ruin this scene, but I think it's like the season opener, season 2. And what are they taking, like the T7 exam or something to become a licensed stockbroker? And they're like, you know, Matthew Woodworth, are you there? I'm here. Are you here? Yeah. Chrissy Sarapanano or whatever.
Christopher Moltisanti.
Yeah. This Asian guy is like, I'm here.
Here.
Yes, my name is Christopher Moltisanti.
like the stockbroker exam will be in 2 parts, each 4 hours long. And I'm thinking like, God damn, I had no idea it was such a serious test. How is Chrissy gonna? Oh,
it's great. It's a wonderful opener.
Yeah, it's real good. Yeah, that's a good part in the show.
That's a good like period within the show.
It seems
your
like
mic
your
just
mic switched.
Now we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Wrong mic.
It's back to the bad mic.
Weird.
Yeah, that was just out of nowhere.
Yeah, right. It doesn't usually change. Like with the reboot, it can change. But
yeah, that's strange.
Hello.
No.
Yeah, it's still there. It sounds like you're in a cave.
Yeah, that mic.
I'll let you fiddle with it.
But mic, perhaps.
So there's 6 seasons, and this is one of those shows that's like so good already that I'm like, oh no, at some point this is gonna end.
Yeah.
Like, and then what am I gonna do?
Do you know the ending already?
Yeah, I know it ends mid-sentence, and I know a lot of people disliked how that happened.
Really? Okay. I didn't hate it as an end, and I didn't get it as an ending until it was explained to me, explaining what it's like to get hit. Then you're like, oh.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, right? Is Tony's getting killed in the last episode?
That is the
series.
That is the leading interpretation.
And it ends, and it makes sense. It ends that way because it's like,
yeah,
you
don't you don't see it coming. You're just there, and then one day you're not there. And
don't stop believing. That's the song that's playing.
Yeah, and I don't know, like there's how much I want to spoil, but there's I'll spoil a little bit.
It
There's
is the end of
between Tony and the other guy, and you have hope, and then the show ends. Like, oh, okay. I guess that's the end.
A lot of people thought their TVs were broken or their cable was out.
Really?
Yeah.
Even
a lot of millions of people.
Even though the credits are rolling? That's crazy to me.
Well, they pause on black for a period of time. Like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and people are just like, what happened? And then the credits roll, and they're like, they think there was like a Super Bowl outage, right? They missed the touchdown.
Oh yeah, I guess that would make sense.
I can see where they're coming from, but some people say it's one of the worst endings in like, TV show history, and I disagree. I think
No,
it's a great ending.
It's not what I would have preferred something different. They asked David Chase the other day, would you have done anything different? He thought about it for a second. Nah, I don't think so. I think it's fine, although I skipped that part. When the diner scene starts, when I rewatch the show, whenever the diner scene starts and Don't Stop Believin' starts playing, I'm like, all right, that's the end of the show right there. I don't need to see these people. Well, I don't want to spoil that whole scene for you, but nothing else happens. Nothing else happens. For the next 6 minutes, people just shuffle in and out of the diner, and tension is built. There's one of those things where the door opens and a little bell rings, and you get that over and over, and they cut to who's coming in. Tension's building. It's a whole thing, and he's with his family, so it's like it could be about to go really bad, and there's a lot of tension built. You watch Meadow Parallel Parking, and it's one of those shows where if they don't show you wasted stuff normally, if they show a scene, it's for a reason. Mm-hmm. You're like, they're showing Meadow parking. Something's about to happen to Meadow while she parks. You're thinking that, and just tension builds, and then zzz.
Well, Taylor hasn't seen it yet. There is a person that disrespects, right?
Oh yeah,
Has
Coco.
Taylor not gotten there yet?
Oh no, that's season 7 or final season 6, I think. Yeah,
you're gonna enjoy that. I'll stop there, but oh god, that's a Sopranos highlight.
Yeah, that's season 6, probably episode 6.
Got to finish this, and then I'll probably do The Wire.
Dude, The Wire's better.
The Wire, although I'll say this, I feel like I can watch The Sopranos with 60% attention. The Wire takes more.
Very complex storyline. I take that back. Not very. All right, you don't need
with 85-90% attention. I'd say very.
You're gonna have to pay attention. You're gonna have to pay attention if you're gonna follow everything. The cool thing about The Wire is it goes back and forth. The bad guys are just as much main characters as the good guys. You know how in The Sopranos you'll only occasionally go to the FBI and see what they're up to? That's not how The Wire is. The Wire, it's a 50-50 split. Every episode, you're going to spend half your time with the gangsters, half your time with the Baltimore Police Department and their task force. And you're going to see what both sides are doing and what they each think of one another, because they do interact and bump shoulders occasionally. And it is amazing. The writing is incredible. The actors are awesome. The guy who plays McNulty, who has this incredible Baltimore accent that I can't even begin to approach. I think he's British. I'm almost positive that he has a posh English accent, and he pulls off this Baltimore thing to a T. And it's got Idris Elba. He's one of the main gangsters, and he's the intellectual of them all. He's attending community college classes on psychology and business, and he's applying it to the drug game. So he's using the psychology to be a good leader. And he's using the business classes to structure the business more economically and more profitably. And it's very cool to see him. And his counterpart, his partner, is the opposite. He's wilding out, street thug. He's at the top of the pyramid. He's a Tony Soprano type character, but he's still wanting to get his hands dirty. If somebody disrespects him, he's wanting to go blast in the streets. And then there's this third tip of the triangle. If you've got gangsters, cops, up at the top of the triangle that's formed by in this thing is Omar. Omar doesn't play by anybody's rules. He robs.
That's Chucky White.
Omar has his own rules.
Yep.
Yeah, from
Boardwalk
has a
Empire.
Strict code, which is one of the best things about him. What Omar doesn't have.
He walks around with a shotgun.
There's a
12
YouTube
gauging it out.
montage of just Omar's, and they tell just the Omar part. He's a very,
and he's gay
character
up till he dies.
Yeah, the most badass motherfucker in the whole show is gay.
He's not afraid of going to jail. Not afraid of dicking his ass. At
one point, the gangsters can't figure out how to deal with Omar, So they frame him and get him sent to jail because they think maybe in there they can have him killed because he won't have his shotgun. And but he just has a couple of homeboys sent in to like watch his back, and he's got armor made out of magazines wrapped around his whole like rib cage and stomach, and he's got a blade and he's ready to kill.
That's not gonna do anything.
Huh?
Magazines?
They absolutely. Well, he's not getting shot in
Against the
prison.
knife,
You're gonna
it
get
seems
shanked.
effective.
Oh, okay.
And prison shanks are made out of things like sharpened plastic, chicken bones, you know, toothbrushes with a razor blade in them, shit like that. So the magazines work perfectly. Omar's great. The Wire's my favorite show. It's the best show ever made, I think. It's just the quality never dips. The storyline drags a little, I think, in season 2, which I think is the one where they deal with the port a lot. But on the whole, I think it's 5 seasons of that show. I'm not positive, but I think it's 5, and I love it.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm glad that I've got quite a bit of content to get through.
Yeah, let me know when you're done with that.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm done with the Sopranos. I'll keep talking about Sopranos as it goes on.
You said you had a 900. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to change to like who's going to play the Tiger King in the Tiger King movie.
Oh, yeah, I read.
Nicolas Cage.
Jesus Christ.
Carol fucking Baskins.
Carol Baskins. Now, who would it be?
Dude,
I'll put a bullet in your head.
Nicolas Cage can be awful or amazing. Like he has the full range of performances.
They said they picked the only actor who will have to tone it down to play Joe Exotic.
A lot of people were picking. Is it David Spade? Maybe
David Spade. Yeah, he would do it well. He can do that voice, and he looks like him.
That would be my pick.
It would be mine too, but I'm happy with Nick Cage. Nick Cage to me is a much bigger star than David Spade.
He is, but Nick Cage doesn't look like him.
They'll make him look close enough, though.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. By the time a Tiger King movie comes out, I'm probably not going to care.
Right?
I'll care.
Have you guys watched the Jordan movie? I haven't. Or the Last Dance? What's it called?
I don't even know.
I have no idea what we're
Past the
referring to.
Tiger King is the most popular thing. Pretty big deal. Yeah, there's a. I guess
it's on ESPN though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the basketball thing called The Last Dance. Yeah, it's on ESPN.
Yeah,
It passed Tiger King for like most popular show or most watched show or most streamed or something like that. I watched the new episode of Rick and Morty last night.
Oh, there's just one so far?
Yeah, they're going to, the second half of the season has begun. I purchased, the season at the beginning of the season, like in October or whatever. So, it just like popped up on my screen. Oh, Rick and Morty. And I was able to just hit play and watch it. It was awful.
Oh no, you think?
They did like, it was over my head. And I bet that they really love, and I think they're so smart for like making a show an episode that's so meta and so like, it's about story design. It's literally like them like being not even meta for the show. It's about them being meta in their writing room almost, and like talking about plot pieces and the ticking time bomb, and just like ripping apart storytelling and like making fun of it. And it's like, you're 4 seasons in. Like this isn't when you just give up on like making creative stories and just start making fun of what it is to tell a story. Like what are you doing? This is shit. This is
my
shit.
interest. I hope I disagree. I'm usually the slowest one to. I'm usually the slowest one to turn on a show.
I haven't turned on the show. I guarantee there will be good episodes this season, but that episode is the worst Rick and Morty episode I've ever seen.
It's going to keep going down because they switched out their writers. Can't switch out all the writers in the show and expect the quality to stay the same.
They make fun of feminism at one point. You'll enjoy that part.
Oh, I mean, I don't really care what they're making fun of, but it was funny in season 1. Like they had the writing down pat. It was season 3 that I watched, and like there were episodes where it was like, this is clearly not the same tonality of season 1 and season 2. You know what I mean? Like
I know exactly what you mean.
Would be saying things, and it's like, that's not something Morty would say. That's not something Rick would say. This feels ham-handed, and maybe I'm overly critical of it. But.
I think you are overly critical. I don't think every episode is going to be a home run. I don't expect that out of them. but it's almost like they've gotten to the point where like a classic Rick and Morty adventure is not something they want to make. They act like they're beyond that they've like run out of ideas. They act like they've made 500 episodes instead of 30 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you've only made like 15 legit good Rick and Morty adventures ever, dudes. Like, don't act like
you're halfway through one Simpsons season.
I don't know how many times they've said it. Like, oh, come on, we're gonna go on a classic Rick and Morty adventure, and then they like ruin your expectations, and they don't do that. They do like this whole thing where like they never left, but they're in a dreamland, or they never left their room or something, and it's like, why couldn't you do just a classic Rick and Morty adventure and not make fun of an established franchise?
There used to be a pretty complicated sort of alternate universe storyline going on there, where like, is that the real Rick? Is that the real Morty? Who's the best? Like, you don't see that so much anymore.
I only saw maybe one episode that where they did that. It was the Atlantean Rick's Up or whatever it's called, where like our Rick and Morty went to Atlantis. And like the Rick and Morty we follow, we're doing something completely different. Maybe there's two. There's about 2 episodes
that reference them. And I guess I had to watch some YouTube videos of the game theory and stuff that explain like, oh, the C-138, it's not what you think it is. They're not in their original universe. There was a swap in there, and
well, I know they swapped universes, but what I was getting at was there are some episodes where we don't follow our Rick and Morty.
Oh, I follow what you.
Yeah, that the Rick and Morty we follow are completely different Rick and Mortys and we just follow them for one episode and then never again.
It's been a while since I saw some YouTube like theory videos on Rick and Morty that say like, you're not even watching the Rick and Morty.
Sometimes that's true. There's an episode or two where that's true. Yeah, we're watching the bad Rick and Morty, written by fucking not Justin Moreland. like this is Matt Groening's Rick and Morty. Clearly, it's garbage. He's also dead, but not in the universe that they exist in. That's what you got to keep in mind. They cured cancer in that one.
Groening is dead?
Or was it Sam Simon? One of the main creators died.
Matt Groening is not dead, yeah.
Which one of them died? It was like in 2016.
Must be. I didn't even know about this. I haven't watched Simpsons since then. Since way before then. If anybody out there looking for a rewatch of a show, nice nostalgia, seasons 1 through 10 of The Simpsons.
Sam Simon.
Very good.
Sam Simon. He was the main guy.
Go ahead.
No, I think that's all I got. I think there was a
stream tonight. Excited about it. Taylor rated me and Anton. Al, do you know Anton, the Tarkov streamer? Maybe you don't. He's one of the bigger players in the Tarkov. I enjoy his content. I'm in there all the time. And all of a sudden, I had big for me. And it went really well. Like 6 hours later, I still had over 1,000 people watching me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this has to be a whole other group of people at this point. It's 3.5. The people that started with me 6 hours ago, they must be gone. And
that's great.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt good. It was a little pressure though. It was a new thing. Like in Tarkov, not that people are really there for my gameplay, but I didn't want it to be bad. You're not supposed
of course.
to suck. And 1,500 people watching me. I felt a little added pressure to rush a little faster, to move a little more aggressively.
Well, I bet the next time you start streaming, your like base number is going to bump up a little bit from, maybe a few new people. From
right. Maybe a few new people, but for one night, I felt like a big show.
Yeah. Someday I'm going to get that bastard Tucker to raid me with his 50,000 viewers. Yeah, right. No.
You pull numbers like that? 50?
He had 15,000 today.
15,000. That's rare air, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who get in. Not a lot, but like I feel like if you're at 4 digits, you're pretty significant. Twitch streamer. If you're at 5 digits,
yeah, you're a big boy. Yeah. So it's a grind. We'll get there eventually, Woody.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Who cares? Yeah.
I don't. I enjoy streaming. I've been solo streaming lately, and I find it easier to put on a show. I can fucking stream of content stuff. whereas that would be very detrimental to. I enjoy playing with other people. I think the show I put on is better when I'm.
I should have talked about this when we were back on Prison Talk earlier. I've been watching 60 Days In today. Like I just started today watching like one of the seasons.
Your
episode? We've left Kyle to his own devices. We're sure he'll be okay.
No, because they all thought you were from that.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Okay.
There's a poor white boy. Like one of the guys they put in is literally like a college football quarterback, like a black guy. And he's ripped, like a genuine super athlete. He's doing like muscle ups with his shirt off in front of everybody. He's doing like weighted chin ups and stuff. And like he's super slick socially. He's just high-fiving everybody. White guys, black guys, doesn't matter. He's just, just having a good time. He's grabbing by the shoulders, giving him a little shake. What's up? What's up? Slapping him on the back, just making his rounds. Just everybody's loving him. And the other guy is this white dude who's like skinny and not in good shape.
They know each other.
And they know that each other. Yeah. Well, they're not friends or anything, but they both know that the other one's part of the program.
Right.
And the other one, he's so awkward. He tries to shake people's hands like a businessman in prison, and they literally stare at him. They won't shake his hand. Like he tries to play basketball by himself, and a black guy runs in, takes the basketball away, and starts playing with it anyway. And after a while, he goes, "You see that chair in there?" And the white guy's like, "Yeah. Go sit in it. You're on timeout."
He did nothing wrong. He was just playing.
He did nothing wrong
by himself.
And then he's sitting at a table with this other black guy, and the black guy's like, "You know who you look like? That dude from American Pie." And the white guy goes, "Stifler?" Because Stifler's the really good-looking, slick guy in that show. He's like, nah, the one that fucked the pie. Dude stuck his dick to his hand with super glue. You look like him. And he goes, "Well, at least it's a good-looking guy." He's like, I don't judge men that way. And he's just like, yeah, me either. He's like so scared to take a shower. Like he is not getting along well. And there's no way he's gonna uncover any sign. They're in there to uncover like nefarious stuff. But to do that, you got to get interwoven. Nobody's trusting this guy. They're thinking about robbing him. He goes to the commissary and buys like $80, $90 worth of shit, and they're all watching him do it. You do it on a little computer screen, a touchpad in there, and they're just standing behind him, like watching the money and the peanut butter and the cookies pile up, and they're just like, all right then. And some white guys are like, they're gonna rob you, right? And he's like, what? What do you mean? The blacks, they're going to rob you. You know that, right? And he's like, no, I don't know that. Well, they are. And then like he goes back to his cell and he's like, they said they're gonna rob me. Who said that? Well, those guys said that the blacks were going to rob him. He's like, well, I wouldn't trust those guys that told you that either. They're probably going to rob you. And now he's just sitting there waiting on him to call his number, holding his sack.
Who
and he's just
rob me. Yeah.
and he's like, I'll fight. And I'm thinking like, no, you won't.
I don't want to go to prison at all. You're not.
No.
This was jail.
Jail and prison look terrible.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
You're not winning me over with the jail argument either. This all
freedom is awesome.
Sounds like there's this one guy, high school quarterback, ripped, socially amazing,
college quarterback,
high-fiving everyone. Okay, college quarterback. Then there's this other guy, and they all kind of bully him. And it's like, Woody, be realistic. Who do you think you are in this scenario?
It's like, oh no, I'm gonna be bullied.
Shit. Yeah.
Man, look at your head.
Yo, calves.
Hey, yo, it's calves and noggin walking around.
Yeah. A little part of me does want to try it though. Is there a 5 days in? Can we scale it
well, you
back
can
a
leave
little?
whenever you want.
Yeah, I see myself ringing the bell, like a Navy SEAL dropout.
I'm watching season 6, and this guy was a Marine, and he quit on like day 2, and
Really?
he cried on camera like a bitch.
Really?
And I'm thinking, like, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking like, what they're doing is very similar to what I did on this particular season. Now, the seasons are different. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there were some seasons where it was much harder than what I did, and some seasons where it's much lighter than what I did. I feel like I'm at like 40% of on the scale as far as 60 days in goes, as far as like how rough it was in there or whatever. I didn't cry. I didn't think about crying. I was scared. I was nervous, but I'm not gonna cry in front of these people. Are you fucking crazy?
Bad move.
Yeah.
Terrible move. I watched Shot Caller last night. It's got the guy
I've
from.
seen that.
They raped the guy came in crying. They fucked him in the ass that night.
Yeah. Bad move.
Bad move.
Shawshank Redemption. That one guy cried, got fucked.
Well, he got
Fucked as
beaten to
in, like,
death by a
killed.
guard.
Yeah, killed.
Yeah.
But it was because he wasn't shutting up.
Yeah, they were like, "Shut the fuck up." He's like, "I want my mommy. I want my mommy."
Did he literally say that?
Yeah.
Or something, some sort of, crime.
Yeah, he said he missed his mommy or something like that, and the guard came up there and beat him to death.
Then that anvil-jawed mean guard.
Yeah, I
just
like that
beats
actor.
the shit out of him.
He's great at that role.
He's a tremendous piece of shit.
Yeah.
He really is. He plays that well. He just looks like a tough guy who's just a bully.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't want to go to prison again. It's no fun.
Yeah, no thank you.
After watching Wes Watson's videos, I'm like, God, I'd hate to go to a real prison. Whew, I don't want to put in work.
Yeah. What if I'm not qualified for this job, right? How do they choose who to put in work for? If they ask me to put in work against that West guy, that's not going to go well for me.
I think putting in work early is like smuggling dope in your butthole.
Because putting
in work means doing something they need you to do.
Hold on to some contraband or something.
In that other guy's videos, I don't know, whatever his name is, Big Mike. Big Hurt. Mike Hurt is his name.
It's definitely not Mike Hunt.
It's Mike Hurt. But Mike Hunt is funny.
I'm going to tell him you said that. He's going to split your wig.
He will split my wig.
Split your wig.
You need to see the Woody mess up name montage to explain what just happened there. But anyway.
Play that, and then the brother comment that Woody made back to back. Send that to Mike. Game over.
When he talks about putting in work, it's almost always fight. I always understand it to be. Maybe it means more.
Yeah, it means doing anything for the gang they need you to do. So that could be smuggling some dope. That could be smuggling a weapon somewhere, hiding things, hiding weapons, hiding a cell phone. It means doing something they need you to do that you're not supposed to be doing. And it could totally mean killing somebody. But the thing is, like, I don't think they're going to put you up to killing somebody if they don't trust you and think you can get the job done, right? Unless they want you to get hurt.
Guys, not on my best day. But
I don't think they're going to send you alone to get Wes.
I have an unusually large asshole.
Yeah, Wes is a big boy.
Yeah. Call it a show?
Yeah, I think so. Good game.
PKN.